Those who are weak at reading, they should start reading newspaper. This is the ultimate thing, newspaper reading. If you switch from GS to CSAT alternatively, like 5 day GS, 1 day CSAT, it will be much more fruitful for you. My name is Abhishek Kumar and I am your presenter for today's session on CSAT. In this session, we will see that why CSAT is becoming so important nowadays for civil service examination. We will see why it is one of the most important section and yet the most ignored section. There are many reasons because of that lack of preparation or overconfidence in this paper. Just remember one thing, if you take this paper very lightly, it will cost you many attempts. So what is the problem here? We will encounter all of these in today's session. So let's move forward. So the first thing we need to ask, why CSAT is included in civil service examination? What is the need? Because I have seen a lot of people criticizing CSAT paper, that how being able to solve mathematics, how concept of ratio and proportions, problems on ages, allegation and mixtures, reading comprehensions is going to benefit or is a helpful stuff for an administrator. Many of you are going to become a good civil servant in near future. So how is this important? How CSAT is going to aid you? There are many reasons. So we will look at one by one. Now suppose we know that CSAT paper has 3 sections. You must have known by now. The first section is comprehension. The second one is mathematics. Third one is reasoning. Okay. So these 3 topics decide whether you will appear for mains or not. So we will look at this later, but we need to look into the fact that every year there are around 14 to 15,000 students who clear prelims. All right. So what are they doing that you are not doing? The only important thing that they are doing is practice. I have seen students coming from IIT, IIM and from arts background, all failing in this paper, CSAT. What is the reason? The reason very simple. The basic that is required for this exam, that is practice. You need to do a maximum level of practice to solve this paper. Okay. So what we need to do, that around 14 to 15,000 students, they qualify the paper, but only a mass chunk of people are left out, eliminated through this. So at the end of the day, this is a paper and it can be solved. UPSC is setting up papers that it can be attempted by all, but the problem lies that we do not practice it. So let's see why it is included. The first thing is decision making and problem solving abilities. Now suppose, take a case study. We will take a case study. In 2018, there was a massive flood in Kerala. I think you must have heard about it. So there an IAS officer, Adila Abdullah, she made quick decisions that helped mitigate the problem of flood. Now because of that, because of her thinking faster decisions, she was able to take care everything. So she was highly praised because of that year. So this section, decision making and problem solving ability, is that area that make you prepare for such event if you become an IAS or an IFS or any other post that you get after clearing UPSC. That is why decision making is included. Okay. The next one is processing complex information. Yes, it is related to comprehension. In UPSC paper, you must have seen that they give you comprehension, long passage in which you have to find the message or the essence of the passage. So, how is it related to future governance when you become an IAS? It is related. You will be given you will be given some legal text, long text documents which you have to read and come to a conclusion because of that. So, this prepares you, this comprehension prepare you for that exam. Though it is just a qualifying paper, but its preparation make you a better citizen and a better administrator in future. Its result you will be seeing later when you become an administrator. That is the importance of CSAT paper. And the third one is budgeting and planning. Now suppose a government has launched a scheme. Now suppose let's take example MG Narega. Okay. Now if you do not know this skill, budgeting and planning, you will, as an administrator, you will have to deal with blank spreadsheets and many information that will be there. But if you do not know this, so you won't be able to detect any anomaly in the papers. That is, if there is any corruption going on, that the funds that is allocated is not being used at the right place, you won't be able to detect if you do not have this reasoning ability. Okay, so this is how all these three sections are related to these three. Okay, so that's why CSAT is important to make you a good administrator in near future. We need to see why CSAT paper creates a balance. Now, UPSC is a kind of paper that invites applications from all sections, like students preparing for students who have a background in medical sciences, students having a background in engineering, students having a background in arts. They all are eligible to apply for UPSC. So the question is how CSAT paper creates a balance. Now take an example of a student X coming from IIT or NIT. There is a high chance that he is good at maths and reasoning. And there is a student Y coming from arts background. Now there is a common trait that he might be weak at maths and reasoning, but he might be good at comprehension. And there is a chance that he might be weak at comprehension. A student having strong command on all the three sections of the CSAT paper is very rare. So student Y is strong at comprehension and he might be weak at comprehension. So it creates a balance. So UPSC has decided that students should get an equal opportunity to attempt this paper based on their strengths. His strength, mathematics, and his strength is comprehension. So it creates a balancing effect. Okay, so there is no discrimination against anybody, and hence it is a very equal opportunity it gives to the students. Now, what is UPSC's vision? The vision is to recruit officers who are adaptable, mentally fragile, and capable of clear communication. That is reflected in CSAT, which we have seen. And as one quote is there from an ex-IAS officer, job of a civil servant is not to know everything, but to know how to deal with everything, and CSAT is considered as a litmus test for that. So you must have understood the importance of CSAT and why it is important for you as a person. So now many students take it. It's all a matter of perspective. If you take it as a paper, okay, and as a burden that I have to clear this paper and how I'm going to clear, then it will be as a burden. Then it will be considered as a burden. But if you take it as an opportunity to be a better person that has elevated his analytical skill, logical reasoning, some basic maths you should know, okay, and some finding the essence of any discussion. If you have elevated all of these qualities, then it will be fruitful for you in the future. So take it as an opportunity to learn something more, because everything that you learn will be come as a profit to you in the future. So without any more delay, let's discuss what is CSAT paper and how is it conducted, what are its pattern. So we all know it is of qualifying nature, but qualifying nature, that means you only need to score 33% of marks out of the total marks, okay. So but 33 marks, is it it looks very simple, but it is very tough. Why it is tough? Because there are some certain traits that are seen in today's students, that there is lack of proper guidance. Means they start using random sources for preparing. The basic that you should follow, that it should be your PYQs. PYQs is the Gita for this CSAT paper. You should see the PYQs, what kind of questions are being asked, what are the in which section they are asking more number of questions. So PYQ should be a basic. The second one is lack of practice. You may be a very good student in maths back in your college days or in your school, but you need to keep nurturing it. You need to keep improving. You need to keep practicing, because once you stop solving maths, your thinking ability in your brain, it goes down. So as a result, the accuracy rate, sometimes the number of questions that needs to be entered within a stipulated time also goes down, and as a result, you fail to clear the paper. Okay. So now let's move on to the pattern. So it is 200 marks, total marks, and there are 80 questions. 80 questions divided into 3 sections: maths, reasoning, and comprehension. Okay. Now plus 2.5 marks you are given for every correct answer, and 1/3, that is 0.8 is deducted for every wrong answer, and 0 marks is awarded for every unattempted questions. The time is 2 hours, that is 120 minutes. So this is the basic thing that you need to know in order to plan your strategy for this exam. Now let's look at the syllabus. So as I told, the first section is comprehension. Comprehension, you will be given a passage and 2 to 3 questions based on that passage, or sometimes given one passage and one question, and sometimes given one passage, 2 questions. So it varies. Okay. So this is that section. Every year you see around 20 to 25 questions, but that number is not fixed. So now let's move on to interpersonal skills, including communication skills, logical reasoning and analytical ability. This is the reasoning section. General mental ability and basic numeracy. This is math section. So broadly, we saw there are 3 sections. Now let's see the previous year trends. Now in 2019 we can see number of maths question asked 28, reasoning 20 and comprehension 34. In the very next year, the number of question in maths boosted to 40. In reasoning, it boosted to 17 and it reduced to 17 and it reduced to 26 in 2020 for comprehension. Now in 2024, 38 questions for maths, huge jump, but sometimes it also goes down as seen in 2023, again boosted up in 2022. So from these, all of these numbers, we can see that the number of questions from each section is not fixed. It varies year by year. Okay. So what is that? So we can see that we cannot rely only on one section for clearing this paper. We need to master at least two sections. Okay, so when you have command over two sections of the three sections of this paper, you will clear this paper. So now here I have just given a screenshot of a passage that came. It's a PYQ from CSAT paper. So here we see that there is a passage and there is another passage. Okay, so you have to read these. Okay, so it's a very time consuming process. Sometimes you have to read the passage 2 to 3 times to get to the answer. Okay, so what kind of things that may be asked? That is asked statement and conclusion, deriving conclusion, passage, what is the message that is given from the passage, and passage meaning. All right, so all these we need to do. All these are asked from passage section. So there are some merits that if you have a strong command over your reading, you can easily get the answer in one go. But if you are from a background that is not so good at reading, so you will have to read 2 to 3 times to get to the answer. So that is sometimes that comes as a demerit. Now merit is good background. If you have a good background, you can easily get the answer. And if the demerit is that multiple reading sometimes is required. And since multiple readings are, it will be time consuming. And sometimes even if you read multiple, you may not able to get to the correct answer because it is a question of these are the questions of varied interpretation. Okay. Now what you think is the correct answer may not be the right thing as interpreted by the question setter. Okay. So there are some merits, demerits, but it is attemptable. So what can we do to strengthen this area? Those who are weak at reading, they should start reading newspaper. This is the ultimate thing, newspaper reading. Read as many editorials, read as many passages there is in the newspaper and try to summarize it. And try to summarize it. Summarize it and try to find the essence. What is exactly being said in the passage? Okay. This is the basic thing that you should do. Okay. Newspaper reading. Now, there is another section of vocabulary. Every time when you read newspaper, you come across many different new words. Try to write those in separate notebook. Okay. So this will help you build your vocabulary and grammar. Grammar is very important. You can refer to any standard textbook on grammar. Prepare your tense, your English speaking skills should be improved because of that. So following all these, it will help you improve marks in your comprehension section. Okay, I hope you understood. Now let's move on to math, syllabus on maths. There are some topics that are basic numeracy and general mental ability. All right, so let's look at the LCM and HCF. One of the repeated topics, let me mark all those topics that come frequently. That is LCM and HCF. Okay, rational numbers, ordering, square root, cube, averages important, set theory important, decimal important, fractions important, ratio, proportion important, surds and important, divisibility rule important, percentage and remainder theorem. So what kind of question they ask in LCM and HCF? You should know the formulae and various sections that they interconnect with. Okay, and rational number ordering, averages. Average, sometimes they give you averages of 10 numbers, then they say that I removed the 9th and 10th number, what is a new average, kind of question they ask. Set theory, a very important topic. You need to know all the formulae. You need to know the formulae on union, you know the formulae or should know the formula on intersection. Set theory. Decimal, you will be given certain fractions and you need to and you will be asked which one is the highest, which one is the lowest. Ratio and proportion, this is very dynamic because ratio can be intermingled with any of the other sections. Like suppose it can be mixed with mixture allegation, that suppose there is a brass that contains element X and element Y in the ratio 5:3, and then it can also be used with questions on ages. Suppose Ram and Sita are in the present ages are in the ratio 5:3, and after 7 or 8 years the ratio becomes this and this. So what are their current ages? So this is a very dynamic topic and it is very handy in solving other questions. Okay. Number system, this is very important. Number system is very important because every year from the last 2 to 3 years, the number of questions asked from this section is very high, number section. So you need to know all the tricks. Suppose a number is given X, its power is something Y. Okay. So very big numbers will be given and you need to solve. What are the number of factors or the number of numbers that will completely divide X, such kind of questions. And probability. Let's see general math. Probability is very important topic, probability. You need to know all the theorems, Bayes theorem and all. And sometimes when you know the formulae, it will be easier to solve this kind of question. Trains, important. Suppose there is a pole and a train is passing, by how much time the train will take to cross the pole. Or suppose there are two trains, they are traveling in the same direction, when they will meet, or they are traveling in opposite direction, how much time will they take to cross each other, such kind of question. Boat and streams, this is also important. Like suppose a boat is going upstream, downstream, what is its velocity in still water, such kind of question is asked in boats and stream. Time and work. From time and work we can see questions like 8 men and 5 women do a work in these many hours or these many days. What is the time taken only for the women to do the same job? Such kind of questions are in time and work. Partnership. In partnership we see some stakeholders like A, B and C, they invest in a company in X, Y and Z amount. So what is the final return that each one will be getting up based on their initial investment? Such kind of questions are asked in partnership. Simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest, compound interest, they are kind of questions that are favorite to UPSC. Basically the compound interest. Compound interest, you should know the formula. What is the formula? Each year there is an increment. Such kind of questions. Compound interest. We will see mensuration and area. In recent year there has been there has not been many questions being asked from this area. So, but you should know the formula of but they are helpful in solving other kind of question. Like you should be knowing the basic formula, like the surface area of a cuboid, area of a cube, volume of a cube, volume of a cone, volume of a sphere. Such kind of question you should know the basic mathematics. You are expected, you are preparing for UPSC CSAT, you are expected to know all these basic formula. Then there is time and distance. Time and distance, the number of questions is also asked. You should know that speed is equal to distance, but this is the basic formula, and hence you should know how to apply this formula in different sections. Like a person is going from place A to place B. Okay, he covered first distance D1 in time T1, time T2 taken to cover distance D2, and remaining distance he covered D3 in time T3. What is the average speed or velocity of his commute? Profit and loss. This is also very important, profit and loss. You should know the basic formula, that what is the selling price, cost price, mark price. All these concepts you should be knowing, and how to apply in some complex problem. You should practice more and more. Work and wages, pipe and cisterns. Pipe and cisterns means a pipe A fills a tank in time T1, pipe B fills the tank, the same tank in time T2, in time T2. So how much time will it take for both the tap to fill the container? Or suppose tap A filled the tank in T1 time, and then it is closed, and then tap T2 is opened, and what is the final time that will be, and T2 is opened, then how much time will it take for the second tap to fill the tank? Such kind of questions. Permutation combination, it is also very important section. Permutation combination will be asked how to arrange stuffs. Like permutation, you will be asked, like there is a circular table, and combination of circular table, the two people, in how many ways 7 people can be arranged, or 7 people arranged around this table. Such kind of question can be asked. Alligation and mixture, as I given you an example, brass, and gold, brass or any other alloy like copper and silver are mixed in alloy in the ratio x is to y. What is the amount of gold or any other element is present in that mixture? And finally, geometry. Geometry, you are expected to know the basic formula, area of circle, kind of area of square. The basic formula you should be knowing. So this is an overall view of what all are asked. Now let's see some of the sample questions from maths. Now here we can see it's a conceptual question. Okay, you should be knowing it. Like 1000 liters is equal to 1 meter cube. This is correct. 1 metric ton is 1000 kg. 1 hectare is 1000 meters. This is some basic maths. If you see some school standard book, all of this is written, and we use it in our daily life. So you are expected to know all this. Okay. So, and here this simple HCF concept. These are some recent questions that are asked. Can X contains 399 liters of petrol, and a can Y contains 532 liters of diesel. So the bottle capacity in terms of it is an integer. How many different possible sizes? So simple. We need to find the HCF of these two, and the HCF which we will get, and the combination which will be there will be the answer to this question. Okay, let's see the third question. A number is mistakenly divided by 4. This is a basic calculation question. A number is mistakenly divided by 4 instead of multiplying by 4. Okay, so there was a number x. Now suppose that number is 100. This is the mistaken number, 400. Okay, and what is the original number that should have been? That is 100 by 4 25. 100 by 4, 25. Okay. So this is a mistaken number and this should be the correct answer. Okay. So what is the percentage change in the result due to this mistake? How can we find that? Some basic mathematics. The original number minus mistake by mistake. Sorry, by 25 into 100. Minus 75. Oh, sorry, not this. Mistake is minus 25 minus 400. Okay, 400 by 400 into 100. That is 4 times minus 375 by 4. That is nothing but 93.75 in negative sign. Alright, so this was a question based on basic calculation. Now this is a simple observation. I must be sure that you must be knowing what a palindrome is. So when you multiply 1 with 1, it becomes 1. When you multiply 1 1 with 1 1, it becomes 1 2 1. When you multiply with 1 1 1 1 1 twice, it will be 1 2 3 2 1. Alright, so here we see that there is a palindrome 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 3 2 1 and 1 2 3 2 1. Alright, so suppose it's 9 times. If it is multiplied 9 times, so it will be 9. It will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and it will be repeated 8 like 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so add all these number, you will get the answer here. So this is a question based on simple observation. All right. So now let's move on to another basic exponent maths. This is a basic, like 32 power 5 can be written as 2 power 5 power 5 plus 2 power 27. All right. So 2 power 25 plus 2 power 27. It is simplified in this form. This entire thing is simplified to this. Now 2 to the power 2 5 multiplied 1 and 2 power this. Okay, 2 square. Now 2 power 25 into 5 by 5. Okay. Now this can be further written as 2 power 24 into 2 into 5. Both of these are same. So what we got, 2 power 24 into 10. Whatever the value which we will get after multiplying this, the end digit will be 0, and if the end digit is 0, it will be divisible by 10. This is a simple divisibility rule. Okay. So we saw this in syllabus. Why it is important? Because we have to know the divisibility rule of all the numbers. This was a very basic question. And finally, I can see. Let's see this one. This is also basic maths. How many natural numbers are there which give a remainder of 31 when 1186 is divided by? So the remainder of 31 is being given. So to divide the number, so the number to be divided completely, we need to subtract 31, 1186 minus 31. That's 5, 5, 1, 1155. So we need to see how many numbers divide this. Okay, and whatever the value should be the answer of this. Okay, and it should be more than 31. The value should be more than 31. So from solving all these questions, what we are able to deduce that some are conceptual, some include some basic HCF concept. Now suppose this takes a lot of time to read and it seems very tough, but the question is very easy. So we need to be prepared for such kind of question that seem very tough and actually very easy. And this one, basic calculation, these are all PYQs, and you see how easy are they, and they are free marks. Knowing just basic concepts, you can clear this with easiness. Now let's move on to the reasoning syllabus. Logical reasoning and analytical ability and data interpretation and data sufficiency. These are the two reasons from where questions are asked in reasoning. So, first thing we need to see what data interpretation, logical reasoning, we will be given some kind of patterns. Now let me show you. Now, these are some kind of question, alphabet test, analogy, direction, coding and decoding, sitting arrangement, blood relations, cubes and dices, insert the missing character, syllog. These are the favorite topics from which maximum number of questions are coming in recent CSAT papers. So, data interpretation. In this section, you will be given a kind of a pie chart or a bar graph, and you need to deduce the answer based on this. So, these are the mainly two broad area where questions are asked from logical reasoning. So, let's see one by one. Direction. Every year there is a question asked on direction. Coding and decoding, a number like suppose Bombay is written in this form like XYZ ABC. So what will Delhi be written as? Such kind of question. Coding. Sitting arrangement. That means if A is sitting just next to B, B and C are not sitting together. Such kind of statements are will be given, and you will be asked who is sitting next to whom or who is sitting in the middle. Such kind of question. Blood relations. In blood relations, you will be asked to find out who is the person. Like suppose if a person X is pointing towards, if a person X is a brother of Y, person Y, then how is X is related to some other person like say A. Such kind of blood. So you will have to draw a generation chart and deduce the answer from that. Then cubes and dices questions. Cubes and dices question, like they will be given 2 cubes or 3 cubes. What, and they will be, and some numbers will be given that 2 is at the top, 3 is at the bottom. Then which side is facing, which side is just next to, immediate left of 2. Such kind of questions will be given, and insert the missing character. Like you will be given a pattern to like A, B, C, D, and what is the number that will come next. Such kind of question. Syllogism, that you will be asked to draw Venn diagrams because of that. They will be given all cats are dogs, some dogs are parrots. Such kind of questions, and what will the conclusion that will follow based on that. Now let's look at some of the PYQs from reasoning. So you will get a proper idea on how to approach such kind of question. Now there are certain things we need to see in reasoning and maths, particularly in reasoning, that there are some common patterns that is being repeated every year. Like if you just go through PYQs, you will see that even in such kind of questions, 3, 14, 39, 84, 250, missing character, then 258, there is some common pattern that you will find in previous year. Like suppose there was a question that a number is there is number X, Y, Z. Okay, this number is multiplied by 1. This number is multiplied by 1.5. This number is multiplied by 2. And then what will the next number? It will be 2.5. Okay, so this pattern is replicated every year. But just the numbers have changed, but the pattern of finding the answer will be the same. Same goes with this question, and the criteria is repeated pattern, that is 3, 14, 39, 84, 258. Okay, so there is jump of 11, jump of 25, there is jump of how much? 45. Okay, and there is some number, and finally there is this one. So we are asked which of these number will replace the star mark. So here we can see 11 to 25, there is a jump of 14, there is a jump of 20, so 6 is added. So now let's add 6 to 20, 26, and 26 if added to how much? 45, it will be 71, and if 71 is added to 84, it will be 155. This is the pattern, and this pattern is followed, will be, I hope, I just guess this pattern, the same pattern will be followed in some of the questions that is going to come in future CSAT papers. This is based on observation, and if you know this pattern, you will have to just think this way. And if you just think this way, and you will come to the right answer. I'll come to the right answer in a matter of seconds. Okay, so this is also time saving technique for you. Just go through PYQs of all the questions that came for in sequence and know the pattern. Knowing the pattern is, and once you know the pattern, just apply on the question and you will get the answer in few seconds. So 79, 80. Now let's see this kind of question, coding and decoding. Okay, pot is written as a top, trap is written as a part, and how is arena going to be written in the same code? So it's very easy. Just based on simple observation, you can see that pot just has been written like this, POT, and A is added in the front, and apart. Okay. Now once a part is given, we will reverse the number, reverse the digit APART, and add A to the top. Is it the same? Sorry. Trap. Okay. So we will write TRAP, and I will add apart. We get apart. Okay. Now arena. How can we write arena? ARENA. Just reverse it, and A. Anera. This is the right answer. Okay. Now let's move on. Simple observation. You will see what we can do. Add 7, 9, 10. How much? 7 plus 9, 16. 16 plus 10, 26. 26, and add the digit 2 plus 6, we get 8. Okay. 9 plus 11 plus 30. 20 plus 30. 50. Add the digits 5 plus 0. It is 5. Okay. Similarly, 11 plus 17 plus 21. 28. 21, 49. 49. Addition 4 plus 9, 13. Correct. And similarly this 23 plus 4 plus 15. 27 plus 15. It is 52. 27 plus 15. It is 42. Sorry. 42. 4 plus 2 is 6. A is the answer. So you saw how we reduced to the answer based on observation. And this is even simpler. From naked eye, we can see that all of these are prime numbers. All of these are prime numbers. All of these are prime numbers. But here 91 is coming. 13 into 7. It is not a prime number. So this become an odd one out. And we are also given such kind of question that how many statements are required to come to the right answer. Suppose A is older than B. So we will write A above B. Okay. C and D are of the same age, but we do not know where they are placed. So E is the youngest. So from this statement we know that E is the youngest. So it is also useful because from this we know that E is not the eldest. F is younger than D and F is older than A. Okay. So we will place F before A, and F is younger than D. So means D becomes older than F, and C and D are of the same age. So C and D, they are the eldest. So from this we reduce that D, that is all 5 are the necessary to come to the right answer. I hope you are trying to catch up that what kind of questions that are asked in UPSC, and they are actually very easy. I will tell you how to deal with even tougher questions, but our primary focus should be on how to select questions that are easy. Okay. First we need to solve those. Now let's see this. This is like repeated zillion of times in UPSC. We are given a sequence and we need to find which of these will fill these gaps. Okay. So A, B, C. Okay. And first step should be to count the number of terms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 20. So 20 can be written in how many ways? 2 into 10, 4 into 5. Okay. So let's see, first check 2. Here, DA, BB, DC. Is there any common pattern formed from these 3? No. From 10 we cannot do because we are missing this, so we will also eliminate 10. Now let's check in 4. Suppose let's put DDCA. DCA. Now let's see if we can find any pattern from here. ABCD, DABC, CDAB, BCDA. Now here ABCD, okay, all distinct terms, DABC, all distinct terms, CDAB, all distinct terms, BCDA, all distinct terms, ABCD, all distinct terms. Okay, so this could be a possible answer because it is following a pattern in which in a grouping of 4, none of them is being repeated. Now let's check another one, DCCA, ABCD, CABC. Here C is being repeated. Rest all are okay. So this could not be, because this is not following a pattern, because C in the second grouping of 4 it is repeated. Now let's see in a grouping of 5. Now let's see in a grouping of 5. ABC, DDCA, DCCA. Let's check C, D, C, C, A. Now we will change a grouping of 5 ABCDs. Okay, now let's check. A, B, C, D, C. Okay. Now A, B, C, C, D, A, B, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So we do not come to any conclusion because everywhere else there is a repetition of at least one term. Here C is repeated, here B is repeated, here A is repeated, but here none of the items is being repeated. So this is wrong. Now let's check D. Now let's check DDCA. Okay. Now here we see D is being repeated, rest all the 3 are distinct. Here ABC is repeated, rest all are distinct. B is repeated, rest all are distinct. And A is repeated, rest all are distinct. Okay. So we included D. DDCA is the right answer. Just based on, in the same way, if you see, look, this question. The very next year in 2024, that was 2023 paper I guess, and this was in 2024 same pattern. So it's easy 2.5 marks if we know how to solve the question. Okay, repeated pattern. And this one is very easy question. Like suppose there is a person that is walking westward, this is north, okay, then turns left. For him, what will be his left? If he is walking this way, his left will be this. All right, and then walks 100 meter and then take 225 clockwise. So if it is standing in this direction, clockwise direction will be this way. Okay, so from 180 degree he will be facing towards north direction. In 180 degree he will be facing in the north direction, and he is supposed to turn 45 degrees more to reach 225 degrees. So his direction will be this way. And what is this direction? This is northeast. Okay. So this was one very basic question that UPSC asked last year, And you see, such kind of question can take you to 67 marks, 66, 67, which is the cutoff. This is the qualifying marks for this paper. And this, let's see this one question that came. A certain A, B, C, D. Okay. And they are written as 24. 24. Okay. What are they doing? They are just taking the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and they are multiplying 24. Okay. Now E, F, G, H 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So they will all, then we will multiply it, we will get some value. And finally I, J, K, L. It will be 9, 10, 11, 12. Whatever the number which will be the answer. It will be between all, any of these. Alright. So through these examples we saw that the questions that are being asked in UPSC, they are actually attemptable. Okay. None of the question is very hard. Okay. They are very basic question. We need to identify all this. Now these two are the kind of the statement based questions. These may be a bit tricky, but we need to see all the questions that we can actually attempt in the paper. For example, the question is, what is the time required to download the software? So from the first thing which we need to get the time is the size and the rate at which it is being transferred. If these two are given, we can know the time. Okay. So first, the size of the software is 12 megabytes. Okay. We know the size. Okay. But we do nothing about the rate is being given here. So can we find the time? No. So statement 1 is not enough. The transfer rate. Here we are given the rate, only the rate, but not the size. So we can also, so this alone independently is also not sufficient to answer the question. So both the statements are required. This is wrong, the question by both the statements. C is right answer. So you saw how easy was this question. Similarly goes with what is the price of the particle P. The cost of P is not more than that of R. So it is either less or equal to R. The cost of R is not more than. R is also not, the cost of R is not more than. It is either less or equal to P. What is when the P is equal to R. Okay. And it is given as 16 rupees. The total PQR is given as rupees 50. The price of the article Q is 17, is given as 17. So simply if P and QR are equal, then they become 17 each and Q is 16. Okay. So what is the R? What is the question? What is the price of article P? From both the statement you got that the price of article P is 17. So it can also be answered by using both the statements. So I discussed with you all the type of questions that are coming in recent UPSC. So now basic question is how to approach the paper. The basic question, how to approach the paper. Now in the examination, when you are given the paper, you should, what first step you should do, that step 1, mark questions that are very easy. Mark the questions that are very easy. That means in a total set of 80 questions, you will find around 20 to 30 questions that are very easy. If you have prepared well, if you are good with, if you have memorized all the formula, you have practiced enough questions, there will be 20 to 30 questions that will be that will be easily solved at your fingertips. So 20-30 questions. So mark all those. Then step 2 is mark, give a double tick to those that are easily solvable and single tick to those that requires bit of thinking that it can be solved, but there is a scope that it may go wrong. Okay, so that should be a step 2. And step 3, eliminate those that has the highest chance of going wrong. We are not supposed to touch those. We will read them and we will get to know that we cannot attempt those. So we will eliminate this. Now remember that out of 80 questions, you have to correct only 27. Net questions that is to be corrected, that should be correct, is 27 only. Alright, so what we can do, since we need only 27, in first 50 minutes, solve those 25 questions. We will take the average, 25 questions. Okay, 25 into 2.5, some value will be there, 62.5 I guess. Okay, so within first 50 minutes or 55 minutes, you should be able to solve at least 25 easy questions. That is there. You just need to identify and you will get to the right answer. You will get to 62.5, very close to the cutoff marks. And in next 50 minutes, you can actually solve 20 to 20 questions at least you can solve. That requires a bit of thinking. Alright, and with thinking I mean both comprehension and mathematics and reasoning part. Once you solve all this, total how many? 20 and 25, 45 questions. If you get it right, and even if you have like 70 to 75% of accuracy in this, you will clear the paper. See how easy is it. It requires a strategy that you need to follow during examination. So basically what you need to do, that the brain has two parts. The one part that is capable of solving problems, aptitude, and the other one is based on reasoning. So I would suggest that solve at least 5 questions for maths, then switch to passage. It will give rest to that section that is being used in your brain. It will give, I mean that the portion in your brain that is responsible for solving problems, it will get rest, and the portion that is based on reasoning for comprehension, that will be activated if you start solving. So rest, unrest, rest, unrest, rest, unrest, this kind of pattern follow, it will be of maximum efficiency. So what is the pattern that you should be, what is the strategy that you will be following? Now most of the students that prepare for UPSC, they follow a hard mentality that everyone is saying that 2 to 3 months is enough for preparing for UPSC before prelims. This is a wrong strategy, because not everybody's background is the same. Okay, some may be coming from IITs and IITs. Their skills of apprehending question might be superior to you. So first of all, what you should know your strength and weaknesses. So weaknesses, by weakness I mean that if you're bad at something, you need to start a bit earlier in order to compete with somebody else. Okay, so the basic strategy you can do, I have 2 strategies. First one is, try to solve questions, 2 to 3 questions every day. 2 to 3 questions every day. Okay, but there is a catch. A student sometimes think that at the end of the day, 1 hour, 1 or 30 minutes I will devote to CSAT. But what happens, throughout the day he's studying GS papers that requires a lot of memorization, like suppose modern history, polity. He has done a lot of memorization. By the time he is going to he's giving 1.5 hour or 1 hour to CSAT, he will be totally mentally drained. He won't be able to give full focus on that. So what will happen? He will skip that day. He won't do CSAT, and this practice will continue. And the amount of questions that needs to be solved on that day will keep on piling up, and in the end he will start feeling that I will do it in the last 2 to 3 months of before prelims paper. Okay, so this is a wrong strategy. What you need to do, after studying 5 to 6 days or 5 days of GS, you should give 1 day entirely to CSAT. In this way, what will happen? All your brain will get rest from memorization that is required for GS paper, and then your aptitude part will get activated on 1 day. Keep switching. If you switch from GS to CSAT alternatively, like 5 day GS, 1 day CSAT, it will be much more fruitful for you. You try this and you will get better efficiency in CSAT paper. This is a strategy that I followed, and it turned out to be very fruitful because I scored good in CSAT paper. So one last thing about thing is that out of 80 questions, you need to get 27 net, 27 correct, right? So I explained you how to approach it. Alternative switch between comprehension and mental ability. So comprehension, you should first focus. You need to be very strong at 2 sections, at least 2 sections I see, and maths and logical reasoning should be your forte. Okay, and comprehension, if you are an arts background and are weak at any and is weak at any of these 2, then you should at least be good at 2 sections. For this, what you need to do? You need to do practice and a lot of practice. All right. So final verdict about this paper is you should know your weaknesses and strengths. All right. I mean that you need to accept if you are weak at something, you should improve it. What I mean that many people are confident over this paper just because other one is confident. This won't work at the final, on the final day. Okay, so identify your weaknesses, work on those, and if the area which you are strengthened at, suppose if you are good at maths, you devote less time to it and give more time to your weakness areas like comprehension. Okay, so I hope this session was very fruitful to you, and I hope the kind of questions that are portrayed in CSAT paper, you must have got an idea how to approach all these questions, identify the easy questions, solve the hard questions, and in the end try to get at least 40 to 45 questions correctly, and if you correct it, you are through the paper. And finally, if you just take this paper very seriously, then it will cost you 2-3 attempts, and finally you will feel that you are not made for this UPSC exam, and then you will leave it. So all the best. Thank you.